Welcome back to Iraqi Dinar Newsline, everyone. Tracking a significant, widely circulating development today that is causing a major stir within the community. A new update has emerged from Frank26, a prominent voice who has followed the Iraqi dinar story for years. This particular report is capturing widespread attention because it moves beyond typical speculation and focuses on specific technical claims about the global banking infrastructure. The information presented concerns the operational readiness of Iraq's financial system, its real-time connection to the wider world, and also touches upon the Vietnamese dong. For anyone who has been monitoring the long-running story of the dinar revaluation, the details in this latest update are being interpreted as a major shift in the narrative, suggesting a new phase of technical implementation may be underway. We are going to break down these claims step by step to understand what exactly is being asserted and why it is causing such an intense reaction. At the heart of this new report is one specific and powerful quote attributed directly to Frank26, which has become the focal point of the entire discussion. He reportedly stated that the global banking network has already been synchronized for the revaluation process. This assertion is being treated as a bombshell because it implies that a crucial and perhaps final technical hurdle has been cleared. The statement continues, claiming that Iraq is ready, the systems are ready, and now we're simply waiting for activation. This language suggests a state of preparedness that goes beyond political promises or economic forecasts, pointing instead to a tangible, behind-the-scenes technical milestone that, according to this report, has now been achieved. It shifts the conversation from if to when, and centers the activation on a technical rather than a purely political trigger. Let's unpack what this synchronization claim truly entails. According to the details provided in the update, the report alleges that the connection between the Central Bank of Iraq (CBI) and major central banking institutions is now live and functional. The update specifically names financial giants like JP Morgan, Citibank, and Wells Fargo as being part of this newly activated network. This is not a minor claim. If true, it would represent a fundamental integration of Iraq's economy into the global financial system. Such a move is seen by observers as a mandatory prerequisite for any currency that aims to be traded internationally at a new, recognized value. Without this digital handshake between the CBI and the world's banking hubs, a global revaluation would be technically impossible. The narrative presented by Frank26 is that this development is the very definition of a currency preparing to go international. The revaluation, or RV, has always been described as the moment Iraq's currency is reinstated and recognized at a new value on a global scale. The argument being made is that you cannot have a global rate if the currency cannot move globally. Therefore, the establishment of this live, functional connection to major U.S. and international banks is being presented as the most concrete evidence to date that Iraq is no longer financially isolated. Frank26 reportedly used a powerful analogy to describe this state of affairs, characterizing it as the switch being ready to flip. This imagery conveys a sense of immediacy and completion, suggesting that the complex wiring is finished, and all that remains is the final act of activation. To fully grasp the significance of this, we must first understand what a synchronized global banking system actually is. In simple terms, this refers to the complex, high-speed digital settlement systems that allow banks all over the world to communicate, trade currencies, convert funds, and verify transactions securely. This network includes well-known platforms like SWIFT and Fedwire, as well as newer instant payment networks. It is the circulatory system of the global economy, allowing trillions of dollars to move across borders every single day. For any national currency to be part of this club, it must be fully integrated, compliant, and digitally capable of speaking the same language as all the other member banks. It is a high bar to clear, requiring immense technological and regulatory upgrades. The report from Frank26 draws a sharp contrast between Iraq's past and its alleged present. For many years, Iraq's banking systems were described as largely internal, limited, and reliant on manual processes. This infrastructure was not equipped for full-scale participation in the modern global financial network, which effectively kept the dinar isolated. However, the new report claims this has fundamentally changed. According to Frank26, the Central Bank of Iraq has been engaged in a massive, quiet overhaul of its entire infrastructure. This reportedly includes everything from how the dinar is tracked digitally to the new compliance systems that govern how it moves across borders. The assertion is that these legacy systems have now been replaced with a modern framework capable of full global integration. The culmination of this effort, as stated in the update, is that Iraq's financial systems are now actively talking to major banks around the world. This is the core of the synchronization claim. It implies that the digital pathways are open, tested, and functional. Observers have long noted that you cannot simply announce a new international exchange rate. The currency must be able to move, be traded, and be settled at that new rate instantly. If Iraq's systems are indeed live and communicating with institutions like JP Morgan and Citibank, as Frank26 alleges, it would signify that the technical preparations for the dinar to go global are no longer theoretical. This is being highlighted as the most significant clue in years that the revaluation process is, as the report claims, in motion. This reported development did not occur in a vacuum. Update provides context suggesting the CBI has been laying the groundwork for this moment for many months, even years. It points back to early 2025 when the CBI announced a new exchange rate framework. At the time, this was largely viewed as technical jargon, but the new narrative reframes it as the beginning of this final synchronization phase. That framework was allegedly designed specifically to align the dinar with global market mechanics. This preparation reportedly involved the introduction of new banking software throughout Iraq, the implementation of stringent international anti-fraud standards, and the launch of a new digital payment system to connect Iraq's financial institutions directly with the rest of the world. Further bolstering this claim are reports cited in the update that the CBI recently completed a series of final system tests with the International Monetary Fund (IMF). The explicit goal of these alleged tests was to ensure that Iraq's systems were robust and compliant. The objective was to verify that when the new rate is activated, the Iraqi dinar can be instantly converted, traded, recognized by every major global bank without friction or failure. This is not just a standard technical update. Is being framed as a global readiness signal. Frank26 is quoted as emphasizing that when the banks are all in communication and the systems talk to each other, the revaluation moves from a dream to a reality. And, according to his report, that is what is happening right now. The report then looks to other well-known sources within the community for corroboration. It states that after Frank26's update, several other figures, including those known as Mint Goat, Mark Zeta, and Nada from the Middle East, began hinting at the same theme. The consensus among these insiders, according to the transcript, is that Iraq's currency reform is entering its final activation phase. This alignment of messaging from multiple independent sources is being seen as significant, suggesting a shared understanding that a critical milestone has been reached. The narrative is no longer about political debates in parliament, but about final technical implementation and activation protocols, which marks a distinct shift in the ongoing story. A particularly noteworthy detail comes from a quote attributed to Mint Goat, who allegedly stated, "The synchronization of global banking systems is the last technical step before rate release." This statement is powerful because it reframes the entire sequence of events, implies that all the preceding steps, the government reforms, the IMF approvals, achieving international compliance, and passing audits were all leading up to this one last technical step. If that step is now complete, as the reports claim, then the only remaining action would be the official activation of the new rate by the Central Bank of Iraq. This positions the synchronization as the final domino to fall before the public release, which is why this news is being met with such intense interest. The scope of these reports is also said to be broader than just Iraq. Some of the information circulating claims that the U.S. Treasury is actively monitoring these new digital connections in real time. Furthermore, it's alleged that the system integration is not limited to the Iraqi dinar. These reports claim that the new synchronized system also includes placeholders for other currencies, specifically the Vietnamese dong, the Zimbabwean zim, and even the Iranian rial. If accurate, this would suggest a far more complex and coordinated global event, rather than a standalone action by Iraq. This possibility of a multi-currency basket revaluation is a long-standing theory in the community, and these technical claims are being seen as new evidence to support it. The transcript also addresses the crucial question of why now.